Hello, hello, and welcome to the Morgan Library. My name is Miss Lindsay, and welcome to Teen Talk Tuesday. Now, for today's Teen Talk, I will be reading 5 Feet Apart by Rachel Lippincott with Mikki Daughtry and Tobias Iaconis. For the first time, I feel the weight of every single inch, every single millimeter of the 6 feet between us. I pull my sweatshirt closer to my body, trying to ignore the fact that open space, it will always be there. Here we go. Can you love someone you can never touch? Chapter 1, Stella. I traced the outline of my sister's drawing, lungs molded from a sea of flowers. Petals burst out from every edge of the twin ovals in soft pinks, deep blues, even heather blues. But somehow each one has a uniqueness, a vibrancy that feels like it'll bloom forever. Some of the flowers haven't blossomed yet, and I can feel the promise of life just waiting to unfold from the tiny buds under the weight of my finger. Those are my favorites. I wonder, all too often, what it would be like to have lungs this healthy, this alive. I take a deep breath, feeling the air fight its way in and out of my body. Slipping off the last petal of the last flower, my hand sinks, fingers dragging through the background of stars, each pinpoint of light that Abby drew a separate attempt to capture infinity. I clear my throat, pulling my hand away, and lean over to grab a picture of us off the bed. Identical smiles peek out from underneath thick wool scarves, the holiday lights at the park down the street twinkling above our heads, just like the stars in her drawing. There was something magical about it. The soft glow of the lampposts in the park, the white snow clinging to the branches of the trees, the quiet stillness of it all. We nearly froze our butts off for that picture last year, but it was our tradition. Me and Abby braving the cold to go see the holiday lights together. This photo always makes me remember that feeling. The feeling of going on an adventure with my sister. Just the two of us. The world expanding like an open book. I take a thumbtack and hang the picture next to the drawing before sitting down on my bed and grabbing my pocket notebook and pencil off my bedside table. My eyes travel down the long to-do list I made for myself this morning, starting with number 1, planned to-do list, which I've already put a satisfying line through, and going all the way down to number 22, contemplate the afterlife. Number 22 was probably just a little ambitious for a Friday afternoon, but at least for now I can cross off number 17, decorate walls. I look around the formerly stark room I've spent the better half of the morning making my own. Once again, the walls now filled with the artwork. Abby's given me throughout the years bits of color and life jumping out from clinical white walls, each one a product of a different trip to the hospital. Me with an IV drip in my arm, the bag bursting with butterflies of different shapes and colors and sizes. Me wearing a nose cannula, the cable twisting to form an infinity sign. Me with my nebulizer, the vapor pouring out of it forming a cloudy halo. And then there's the most delicate one, a faded tornado of stars that she drew my very first time here. It's not as polished as her later stuff, but somehow that makes me like it more. And right underneath all the vibrancy is my pile of medical equipment, sitting right next to a hideous green faux leather hospital chair that comes standard for every room here at St. Grace's. I eye the empty IV pole warily, knowing my first of many rounds of antibiotics over the next month is exactly an hour and 9 minutes away. Lucky me. Here it is! A voice calls from just outside my room. I look up as the door slowly creaks open and 2 familiar faces appear in the small crack of the doorway. Camilla and Maya have visited me here a million times in the past decade, and they still can't get from the lobby to my room without asking every person in the building for directions. Wrong room, I say, grinning as a look of pure relief washes over them. Maya laughs, pushing the door open the rest of the way. It honestly could have been. This place is still a freaking maze. Are you guys excited, I say, hopping up to give them both hugs? Camilla pulls away to look at me, pouting, her dark brown hair practically drooping along with her. Second trip in a row without you. It's true. This isn't the first time that my cystic fibrosis has taken me out of the running for some class trip or a study vacation or a school event. Around 70% of the time, things are pretty normal for me. I go to school, I hang out with Camilla and Maya, I work on my app. I just do it all with low-functioning lungs. But for the remaining 30% of my time, CF controls my life. Meaning when I need to return to the hospital for a tune-up, I miss out on things like a class trip to the art museum, or now, our senior trip to Cabo. This particular tune-up just happens to be centered around the fact that I needed to be pumped with antibiotics to finally get rid of a sore throat and a fever that won't go away. That, and my lung function is tanking. Maya plunks down on my bed, sighing dramatically as she lies back. It's only 2 weeks. Are you sure you can't come? It's our senior trip, Stella. I'm sure, I say firmly, and they know I mean it. We've been best friends since middle school, and they know by now that when it comes to plans, my cystic fibrosis has the final say. It's not like I don't want to go. It's just quite literally a matter of life and death. I can't go off to Cabo, or anywhere for that matter, and risk not coming back. I can't do that to my parents. Not now. You were the head of the planning committee this year, though. Can't you get them to move your treatments? We don't want you to be stuck here, Camilla says, gesturing to the hospital room I so carefully decorated. I shake my head. We still have spring break together, and I haven't missed a spring break besties weekend since 8th grade when I got that cold, I say, smiling hopefully and looking back and forth between Camilla and Maya. Neither of them returns my smile, though, and both opt to continue looking like I killed their family pets. I noticed they're both holding the bags of bathing suits I told them to bring. So I grabbed Camilla's out of her hand in a desperate attempt to change the subject. Ooh, some suit options. We have to pick out the best ones. Since I'm not going to be basking in the warm Cabo sun in a bathing suit of my choice, I figure I can at least live a little vicariously through my friends by picking out theirs with them. This perks them both up. We eagerly dump their bags out on my bed, creating a mishmash of florals and polka dots and fluorescents. I scan Camilla's pile of bathing suits, grabbing a red one that falls somewhere between a bikini bottom and a single piece of thread, which I know without a doubt is a hand-me-down from her older sister, Megan. I toss it to her. This one. It's very cute. Her eyes widen and she holds it to her waist, fixing her wire-frame glasses in surprise. I mean, the tan lines would be pretty great. Camilla, I said, grabbing a white and blue striped bikini that I could tell would fit her like a glove. I'm kidding. This one is perfect. She looked relieved, grabbing the bikini from me. I turned my attention to Maya's pile, but she's so busy texting away from the green hospital chair in the corner, a big smile plastered on her face. I dig out a one-piece that she's had since 6th grade. She's had since swim class in 6th grade, holding it up to her with a smirk. How's this, Maya? Love it. Looks great, she says, typing furiously. Camilla snorts, putting her suits back in the bag and giving me a sly smile. Mason and Brooke called it quits, she said in explanation. Oh my God, they did not? I say, this is news. Amazing news. Well, not for Brooke, but Maya has been crushing on Mason since Mrs. Wilson's English class sophomore year. So this trip is her chance to finally make a move. It bums me out I won't be able to help her make a killer 10-step, whirlwind Cabo romance with Mason plan. Maya puts her phone away and shrugs casually, standing and pretending to look at some of the artwork on the wall. No big deal. We're going to meet him and Taylor at the airport tomorrow morning. I give her a look and she breaks out into a huge smile. Okay, it's a little bit of a big deal. We all scream with excitement, and I hold an adorable polka dot one piece that's super vintage and right up her alley. She nods, grabbing it and holding it to her body. I was totally hoping you'd pick this one. I look over to see Camilla glancing at her watch nervously, which is no surprise. She's a champion procrastinator and probably hasn't packed a single thing for Capo, besides the bikini, of course. She sees me, notice her checking her watch, and grins sheepishly. I still need to buy a beach towel for tomorrow. Classic Camilla. I stand up, my heart sinking in my chest as the thought of them leaving, but I don't want them to hold him up. You guys have to get going then. Your plane is at the butt crack of dawn tomorrow. Maya looks around the room sadly while Camilla twists her bag of suits dejectedly around her hand. The two of them are making this even harder than I thought it would be. I swallow the guilt of annoyance that comes bubbling up. It's not like they're the ones missing the casino trip to Cabo. At least they'll be together. I give them both big smiles, practically pulling them to the door with me. My cheeks hurt from all this fake positivity, but I don't want to ruin it for them. We'll send you a bunch of pictures, okay? Camilla says, giving me a hug. You better. Photoshop me in a few, I say to Maya, who's a wizard at Adobe. You wouldn't even know I wasn't there. They linger at the doorway, and I give them an exaggerated eye roll, playfully shoving them out the hallway. Get out of here. Go on and have a safe trip. We love you, Stella, they call as they walk down the hallway. I watch them go, waving as Maya's bouncing curls are completely out of sight. Suddenly wanting nothing more than to be walking with them, off to pack instead of unpack. My smile fades as I close the door, and I see the old family picture pinned carefully to the back of my door. It was taken a few summers ago on the front porch of our house during the 4th of July barbecue. Me, Abby, Mom, and Dad. Goofy smiles on all of our faces as the camera captures the moment. I feel a swell of homesickness as I hear the sound of the worn rickety wood on that front step, creaking underneath us as we laugh and get close to the picture. I miss that feeling. All of us together, happy and healthy, for the most part. This isn't helping. Sighing, I pull myself away, looking over at the medicine cart. In all honesty, I like it here. It's been my home away from home since I was 6, so I usually don't mind coming. I get my treatments, I take my medicine, I drink my body weight in milkshakes, I get to see Barb and Julie, I leave until the next flare-up. Simple as that. But this time, I feel anxious, restless even, because instead of just wanting to get healthy, I need to get healthy, for my parents' sake. Because they've gone and messed up everything by getting divorced, and after losing each other, they won't be able to handle losing me too. I know it. If I can get better, just maybe. Oh man, having cystic fibrosis sucks. As I hold my notebook closer and cross off another on my to-do list. Stay healthy. Oh man, that sounded like a challenge. But I know Stella will be I hope Stella will be okay. And that was chapter 1 of 5 Feet Apart. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.